Farmers and ranchers are well known to be fiercely independent, and that independence has served them well over the years. Mother Nature can be very cruel to those who make a living on the land. By thriving in an industry wrought with so much uncertainty, these producers have shown amazing perseverance. While our ancestors that settled in this region of the country understood self-sufficiency, they soon learned the value of working together. From the early barn raisings and opening snow-covered roads to sharing of equipment, agricultural producers have always found ways to achieve their goals. Working through cooperatives, farmers and ranchers continue to share resources to maximize their profitability. While we're not sharing a threshing machine today, we are sharing state-of-the-art feed mills, fertilizer plants, application equipment, and shuttle train loading facilities. None of us could afford to own these types of assets individually, but by working together, we own things that bring value to all of us. In the early 1900s, farmer cooperatives began to form in many areas of the state. These groups formed because people living in rural areas either could not find a consistent supply of a product they needed, or due to a lack of competition, the pricing of these input supplies was at times exorbitant. Through the innovating thinking of our moms and dads, or perhaps our grandmas and grandpas, we developed a cooperative system that was designed to allow farmers and ranchers to work together to assure that an adequate supply of farm inputs that were fairly priced could be available across the state. Eventually, most all these cooperatives grew from input supply cooperatives to full-service agronomy, petroleum, feed, and grain marketing cooperatives. When Grandma and Grandpa created these cooperatives, it was done to meet the needs of members. Today's cooperatives are no different in that fundamental principle. Our goal is still to meet the needs of our farming and ranching members. Have cooperatives changed over the years? We all know they have. Has farming changed much since the early 1900s? Absolutely. We've seen the advent of government programs and, perhaps more importantly, the mechanization of agriculture, and finally, the flood of technological advances that have changed agriculture forever. The point being, cooperatives have changed greatly since their formation in the 1900s, but at the same time, agriculture has dramatically changed as well. So as farmers have changed, their cooperatives have needed to change as well to meet the needs of today's modern farmers. Today's farmer-owned cooperatives still provide value for their members just as they did in the early days. As a member of the cooperative, you have the opportunity to participate in the management of the company by electing the board of directors. These locally elected directors serve as the policymakers for the cooperative and provide input in every major decision the cooperative makes.
As local directors, we take the responsibility of managing our co-op very seriously. Operating a business the size of our co-op is very complex, but I can tell you the focus of the board is to put the co-op in a better position to help our members meet their needs. The belonging to a local co-op assures me that decisions that affect that business are made by farmers and ranchers just like myself, and not dictated by a board of directors from another state or even another country. Rather than shipping profits out of the community, a co-op will reinvest those profits to help its members down the road, or return those profits to its members in the form of a patronage refund.
One of the benefits of a cooperative is knowing that the strategic decisions being made about the company's future is being made by farmers just like me. The decisions of the board represent the membership of that cooperative and are made in the best interest of those members to meet the needs of those members. The chances of the co-op leaving the community are not nearly as great as the chance of a company that does not have that vested interest in the local community. An example of the investment that co-ops are making is our own co-op has invested over $5.8 million in new and upgrading facilities in the last 10 years. These investments were made to better meet the needs of our members, make us more efficient, and also I can guarantee you that we've made that for a long term. We don't intend to leave these communities in any time in the near future. I'm not sure we can say that about our competitors.
Our cooperative has seen many changes in recent years, and most of them are significant. The service station, until recently, offered oil changes, tire repair, and a full-service pump island. Today, after painful decisions, this station offers pumps 24/7 on a card-operated basis, and we've leased the service bays to a sole proprietor. As economics continue to change in my area, service stations, cafes, banks, hardware, and grocery stores just aren't economically viable in small communities anymore. This creates additional challenges for the leadership of our cooperative. Each of our sites needs to be evaluated for greater efficiency and change, such as this service station. These changes will allow our cooperative to operate at greater efficiency, and it will improve the efficiency of my own operation in the process. I want a combination of low prices, high quality, and the best service possible, just like everyone else. To achieve this, change is needed for my cooperative to operate more efficiently, and patrons like myself will have to accept and understand the need for change.
In order to succeed in farming, I know I'm going to need a lot of help from a different number of people. People like my banker, my accountant, and my input suppliers. In order to survive on razor-thin margins, I need an input supplier that, number one, is cost competitive, number two, that has technical expertise, and number three, the right equipment. One of the services I value the most in my local co-op is custom spray application. During the busiest times of the year, I need them. It's almost like having an extra hired man that I don't have to pay year-round.
The biggest supporter of our FFA chapter has been our local cooperative. Over the years, we've worked together on many projects that have been very beneficial for our students. While the financial support that we've received has really been good for our chapter, I tell you that the technical experience and the expertise that the kids get from working with the cooperative people is really what's been beneficial to them. They're really connected to the world of work, and it really has strengthened their educational experience.
Cooperatives have always been positive for Nebraska farmers and ranchers. We all understand that none of us could individually afford the assets that bring value to our farming operations. By remaining a loyal cooperative member, you can share in the values of floaters, state-of-the-art feed mills, high-efficiency fertilizer facilities, shuttle grain loading facilities, and many other investments that bring value to your farm. You can't afford to own all these things, but by being a member of your local cooperative, you can guarantee that these services will be available to your area, bringing value to your farming operation. As you consider this, I think you should ask one very important question, and that is, if my neighbors and I did not have the local cooperative in our area, who would provide the competition for the multinational companies that are in the input supply and grain marketing business? Cooperatives have had a great history of meeting the needs of their members. As member needs have changed, so have the cooperatives that are member-owned. As we look to the future, it is probably safe to say that cooperatives will continue to change. But remember, because you own these companies, that change will be based on the needs of your members as identified by your board of directors. Cooperatives have a proud history, and because of the diligent work of many dedicated local directors and employees, the future looks to be bright as well.